everybody, and welcome to nfoGuides, where I show you what little I know. Thank you, everybody, for coming and checking this out. Today, I'm just going to walk through how to set up a boot drive for a HiveOS rig. This is a rig that I started yesterday. I started it 3 or 4 days ago. I shared the first video of it yesterday. So we're just going to go through that process of upgrading what I had started from a USB boot disk to a actual SSD hard drive boot disk. Proudly sponsored by Mountain Dew. No, I don't have any. Don't even have any followers yet. Okay, so let's get started. First off, I use HiveOS, or that's the one I researched a few programs. I liked HiveOS the best from what I was seeing. It's geared to run a lot of rigs. I'm just running one scavenged together rig, and we're going to go ahead and redo the boot device. Okay, so they're really good about making it simple to get started with. So first, you just go to Simple Install. We're going to do CPU mining. And you want to download the zip file typically. If you don't know what a torrent is, don't worry about it. Zip files is what most people are going to be used to. And let's see. So I have already downloaded the zip file that comes down here. As you can see, HiveOS right here. That was the zip file. I downloaded ahead of time just to save time. And so then the next thing that you do is once you have that, you also need to write that to a disk image. So what you also need to do is download this Etcher program right here. And so I already clicked on this and did this, but I'll just show it. So it goes into here. It's a straight link right here. You just hit whatever OS you've got, click it for a download, and that's what you see down here is I've already downloaded that as well. So I've already gone through that process. So let me give you a quick little visual of the rig here, and you can check that out. Okay, so this is the rig right here again. This is the rig that I've currently got running on this USB stick here that you can see. And I want to replace that USB stick with an actual SSD. This is a 128 gig one. You do not need one that big. And this is what the USB, when it runs, what it's looking like right now, just to give you some examples. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started by trying to take this and turn it into its boot drive. So let's get started. Okay, so now that we have these downloaded, I should point out a couple of things. We need to hook the SSD up to my computer I'm going to burn the image from, and we'll do that here in a second. Right now, we're going to go ahead and go into our downloads, and we're going to run the Etcher Setup. So we'll get that started. And we agree. If for any reason your virus software blocks any of these pieces, just make sure to accept it. Okay, so now it's running. It's ready for a target drive. So this is where we actually need to set up a target drive. And so what I'm going to do here, and this will be a little bit hard to show with one hand, so we'll go through it. So what I'm going to do here is I've got this old USB hard drive here. I'm going to use its drive cage to connect this drive to my computer. Hard to do with one hand here, so give me a second and I'll show you how that is. I just disconnected that cable from the hard drive and I'm going to connect it to this. I'm lucky in the fact that this USB hard drive of mine has this nice disconnect, keeps this cable for me. If you need one of these, you can always order it off of Amazon. They have several things that do this. Okay, sorry, I'm just setting this up real quick. as you can see here, that just fits in nice and easy. I just lucked out. I had a piece here at the house that would do this. Okay, I'm going to plug this into my computer over here. And once I have that plugged in, I will go through the next steps. I've got it plugged in to my computer, so I'm going to say flash from a file because that's what we downloaded. I'm going to select the file that I downloaded right here. I'm going to hit open. Now I got to select the target drive, and you can see here it doesn't like to show you computers that are the hard drives already in your computer, so it likes to hide those by default. But this is the 128 gig SSD that I'm looking for, and so we're going to select that, and then we're going to say select, and now we hit flash. So this is going to erase the whole drive, so you're going to lose all your data on it. Make sure it's fresh, or you're willing to lose everything. And now we're going to say, yes, I'm sure, lose everything, make this happen. And we got to let Windows do this process. So now it's just a matter of waiting for this to finish. So yeah, we're going to pause this, and we will come back here in a second as soon as we have this drive flashed. Okay, and we're back. As you can see, we just finished up flashing this SSD, and so we're done with this. We can close the Etcher program. We can close our file browser here. So now we've taken this image and we've written it to the drive. So the next thing that we have to do is we actually have to log into our HiveOS account, and we have to get what's called a rig file. So let's go ahead and sign in here. So here's the one rig that I have. And so I need to get the configuration for what this is running onto that drive we just made. So that drive we just made, let's go to this PC. If you don't see it showing up down here in the devices and all this, you might have to unplug the USB and plug it back in. Let's give that a try and see if we see it show up. Okay, now you can see that that drive showed up. It by default will have the name of Hive. So it showed up right here. All I had to do was unplug the USB drive and plug it back in. I didn't have to do that with the USB thumbstick, but I did with this SSD. So something to keep in mind, you might have to unplug it, plug it back in for it to recognize it. Okay, so we see the drive. Here's our rig. We need to get the rig file for this. So we're going to click on our farm and settings. And we're going to come down and locate. Sorry. Then we got to go to the worker. So the worker file here should give us the rig config. So, okay. Just to repeat that real quick because I'm new and get to follow me through my mistakes. Let's see. So again, here's the farm, and I need to select the worker. And then once I'm in the worker, now I can go ahead and say settings. And in here you can see that there's this link for a rig config. So I'm going to click on that, and you can see I just downloaded it. You see that parenthesis 1? That means I've already done this once. So we got to rename that without that parenthesis 1 once we have it where it needs to go, because it has to be a specific file name. So let's go ahead and open up our Hive drive that we just did. Now we're going to take our rig config file, and we're going to drag and drop it onto our Hive drive, but we're going to rename it. I hit F2 on the keyboard if you're wondering. So we're going to rename it to just rig.conf. And so now this USB drive is ready to boot that other machine, the rig up. So let's go ahead and first close that. So everything should be ready. We just need to power this rig down. so that way we can swap this drive out and get it to boot. So we're going to go into here. This again is the worker. We're going to go and say view our actions. We're going to shut this thing down, and we're going to say firm. Okay, so while that's going and shutting down, I'm going to take this over here to the rig and hope everything works here. So we're going to take this USB thumbstick out, and this is going to be a little bit hard to see. I'm going to go ahead and actually connect this to an actual SATA cable here. I don't want to run it from USB. I'm trying to just make it so it's a more permanent solution. So just real quick, I went through and let's see how I connected the drive to a SATA connector. I already had the extra power supply over here. So right now it looks ugly. I will mount this and make it look pretty later. Right now I'm just seeing if it works. Does it run? Did I do everything right? So now that we have this here, we need to turn our rig back on, and hopefully we see it boot. Boot from the SSD. I know it will boot from the USB stick, so now let's just see how this goes. It took it a second there, but it kicked on. It probably took it 2 minutes to boot up, or get to the point where I could see it booting up. Well, maybe 2 to 3 minutes. So as you can see here, it's starting up its process right now. And so after it gets the DAG files downloaded and everything, we should start seeing it pick up and run. So we're seeing green. I always look at green as good. So let's come back over here and wrap this up. So that went remarkably well for me. I was expecting a bigger problem like I had when I originally was plugging in the thing into the cage, as you could see in my last video, which I will try to put a link to up here. And yeah, now let's actually take a look at the software and make sure everything's looking good here. So let's come back over here to the farms. Now let's just go back out to the beginning. I'm going to refresh the screen, and everything's looking good so far. You can see these things are spinning up, and we can now see that it looks like we're good to go. So until I let it run for a while, it will be hard to see that there will be a little missing spike here of downtime, but for the most part we are good to go on that. Thank you everybody for joining me, and again, if you can help me, please hit the subscribe button down below and hit that like button or the bell so you can keep following the future ones that I release. I'm just looking at having fun as I learn how to do crypto mining. I would love any feedback that you can give me. Good, bad, the ugly, it's all good. I'm looking for feedback, and yeah, see you next time. And as always, I'm here to show you what little I know.